Future news, brothers and sisters. Future news. This is the messenger of the covenant here, the watchman, Suleiman, the watchman, Suleiman Rahim. Let's see. Okay, brothers and sisters, this is a special timeline. And I took the time to try to give you a timeline from Gog and Magog's beginning until their end in a very detailed manner. So let's proceed, because the greatest sign of the end would be the abomination of desolation. I mean, it's a sign in many ways. It's a multiple sign, because it tells you where it would be. It's be in Jerusalem. It says Jerusalem would be in chaos during that time. It tells you that false Israel is false, because they're the ones controlling Jerusalem, because they was telling you backwards. The preachers and the rabbis, they were saying backwards. They were saying the abomination of desolation would be the Arabs afflicting upon, right? The Jews are afflicting upon the Arabs right now. And so they can't tell you, they can't identify you with the abomination of desolation. They cannot explain it, express it, because that would reveal them as liars. And what they feared would come to pass, because they've been desperately trying to keep you from retaining or grabbing hold to your true vision. A nation has to have a vision to continue to move forward. A nation without a vision perishes. See, to be successful and move forward, it may be maintained as a nation, you must have a vision. And your vision is the Abrahamic covenant. But they're desperately trying to make sure you never realize that vision, because that would turn you against them. And they have people like Farrakhan, demon, we're not going anywhere. When he tells you we're not going anywhere, he's calling the covenant of Allah a lie. He's calling God a liar. When he tells you we're not going anywhere, he's calling God a goddamn liar. Because God, he made a covenant, and God keeps his word, and keeps his word. And he says, right, we'll return after 40 years, and it tells you exactly where we'll return to, Arabia. So they got all kinds of desperate means. Oh, that happened in the past, whatever. And we can prove that's not true. So if they reveal to you about this desolation, then you would know the falsehood was false, because they're going to be destroyed. They're the ones that are going to be destroyed. And that means they could not be the true seed of Abraham, because if they were, they would not be destroyed. Right? So that means we must be a true seed of Abraham. And if we realize that, then we have a vision, we have the base of unity, and the base of revenge. Do unto them as they've done to you. There's much more to it, brothers and sisters. I'm going to leave it there. I tell you, so much more of these verses if you got to learn to read them. Adam rules. Now let me explain a couple of things here. Because see, our people, now scientists, there's no one wiser than them. And their wisdom is not short. It's comprehensive. Because 25th scientist has thorough knowledge of universe, everything in it. All the science together. So there's no mysteries to us. Complete knowledge. There's a reason for that. Right? And so we do things mathematically, because the universe is mathematics. Everything is mathematics. Energy is mathematics. They tell energy is something that acts like mathematics, and that energy is something that acts like mathematics. I mean, energy is not mathematics. It means something beyond mathematics. And what would that be? So everything is mathematics. And we use you think algebra and calculus, we go way beyond that. We use math, math that's way beyond your comprehension. I've been trying to give you a hint in the last few days how we can use math, because math is power, right? It can be power if you use it, you know how to use it. And so, and you get lost in the Bible because you understand that. So you understand what they're saying, why they're saying it. It's like during the time of energy deprivation, means the time of Satan, if no one can do anything but Allah's will, and Satan is ruling, that means it must be God's will for Satan to rule, to make mission shed blood. He cannot rule unless, according to you, nothing can happen without Allah's will. That means Satan has to be sanctioned by God to rule. He has to be allowed by God to rule. And since God's foreseeing, before he made Satan, if that's indeed what you say there, he knew Satan was going to be what Satan is. So why did he make him anyway? See, these things you can answer because your mathematics is flat. And I'm taking you deeper and deeper to mathematics, right? Someplace you've never been. And some of your brains, I feel over here, some of your brains are getting a hernia. When I saw the angels, think about it. Who's angels? You need to ask that question. I'm going to place a ruler in the earth. The earth has a ruler? It doesn't have a ruler? Was there a ruler? He's going to place a ruler in the earth. There's no ruler for him, it's first ruler. And they said, well, that makes sense. So here's the angels. So they recognized this person called Adam he's about to make. See? And he said, but you're making him and you're going to make him ruler, but we submit to you 100%. So how can we submit to this thing here that makes me shed blood? He said, sure, I know what you're not. See, it's more to it than you understand. My math is way beyond yours, right? Not this bullshit Farrakhan telling me he pulled some philosophy on his ass and called it honey, and they said, well, I got deeper. Yeah. And he told Adam all names and presented him to the angels. See, in other words, the angel presented to Adam. So he had to be able to see him. How can he rule him if he wants to? Because who's being ruled here? Because he asked the angels to submit. So angels are the ones being ruled. So they must be physical beings. They must be us, the original people. See? At some point in time. Because we're all angels. Some of us were scientists, some was God, but it's telling Genesis that we move up to the God stage. See? You understand? What it says is, let's make man out of likeness and image. So this is the story here. God's making a man that's going to rule the angels. And they submit, he's going to rule the angel. You cannot rule something you can't see, you can't control, you can't feel, you cannot rule it. So angels must be men and women. Because so they're the ones he's ruling because they're told to submit to him. You got that out the way, brothers and sisters? And now we get into Genesis. And we're going to talk all about, Bliss said, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go to there. I'm going to give my point, but I'm going to, just give you the points that I need to make the point I'm trying to make. We're not skipping and saying some verse is bad, some right. No, we're not doing that. We accept all of them. Right? So it's a tree in the Garden of Eden. See, remember the sealed Bible has a real meaning. And the tree represents us as a people. But it tells them, I believe, not to eat or touch it. Now, why not touch it? I explained that in detail yesterday. Because it takes them out of existence. See, at this point right here, right, do not take them out, don't kill them, get them out. That's what he's telling. Because they're us, they're not actual fruit. Right? But it's also told not to touch it. So we'll touch it. Because by touching it, was it polluted? That's exactly what we're talking about. No race missing. Because I explained yesterday the whole idea behind Adam to begin with. The whole idea behind him was a race of people, a specific race of people designed a certain way to rule. They were designed a certain way to rule. Right? In other words, when you have low energy, right, the person that requires less energy rules. Because everybody get $1,000 a day, and they had to use $1,000 a day to pay all the expenses. They had no money left over for anything. But this person only has to spend $10 a day or $100 a day. He's got $900 to do things. So he can rule, he can have, because it takes energy to control things, to move things. Anything that moves has to move because of energy. Energy is nothing. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. So do not touch it. Why? Because if you race mix, then you lose, right, the form you need to rule. You need to be a Volkswagen Beetle of low maintenance. If you're a Lamborghini, you will not be able to rule because all your money you get $1,000 a day is required to maintain, to keep it in the garage, to pay insurance, everything else. So it doesn't move anywhere. It sits in the warehouse, it sits in the garage, wherever, while the Volkswagen Beetle all about town, lifting people up, whatever it's doing. You understand, brothers and sisters? But now if you got that Lamborghini, if you take that Volkswagen Beetle and start to, I'm gonna make it look like that Lamborghini. I'm gonna have some bigger wheels, I'm gonna think bouncing down, and right, tinted windows, and I'm gonna get specialized audio system, and I'm gonna do all this stuff and jack it up. New tires, towing 9 yards. Now it takes a lot of money to maintain it. So now you lose the form you need to groove. So now you stop losing because you want it as that. See? So that frowned upon said, no, race mix it and do not try to consume them. Eat them. I really don't touch it. And what is that? That's racism. Protect your race. Your race superior to all other races because I'm with you. You're my people. Everybody else is sinners, they're Gentiles, they're savages, whatever. But you are chosen to be special people. Well, you call it whatever you want to call it, but that is racism. In other words, you're putting one race above another. You're blessing one race above another. Right? You're more inclined to one race more than another. And this is God doing this. And he's telling them you have to adopt that mentality because if you go away from these ideas, then you will be no better than them. You will lose your ability to rule because your ability to rule is in your simplicity. The simplicity of your structure. They have a high complex structure. So you have that's why you're white, because everything's right taken out of you. You stripped down version. But you don't require as much energy. You can eat pork, you can do all these different things you're doing, right? Because you have low energy requirements. So now you're the ruler in the earth. This only can happen during the time of the turnaround. Because the universe is contracting now, but it was expanding. Expanding, that means less energy here on earth, but we already get less and less till we got to the point where we hardly had it at all. So we said, we can't leave that day because we're starved. We don't have anything. So it says dirty water better than no water. So we decided, we had Dr. Yakub make a stripped down version of us. Good rule that would protect us from that. But we knew he'd be weak because he didn't have our substance. So we looked at this whole picture and said, how can we put this puzzle together and now it just makes sense? It's beautiful. It covers everything. See? So they have to think themselves superior people to rule, because when they came out of Europe, they had nothing. I'm going to get that in a minute. And now they have unity, but look at all other nations. They robbed all other nations, killed and murdered, slaughtered them. There's more brown sisters. Okay, this is more about the tree. I'm gonna move on, brothers and sisters. There's a lot more I can talk about that, but the one thing I want to say about that is when you read Genesis, it's talking about 6,000 years, like morning and evening, or morning, evening. Each one represents 1,000 years. So you have 500 years for morning and 500 years for evening, and you go all the way down from the first day, which is morning, evening. Second day, morning, evening. So you get to the fifth one, and you get to the sixth one, and now the last 5,500 years of the sixth one. Right? That's what said, let us make man our likeness and our image. That means move the angels up to God's. And that'd be the last 500 years. So who's that transformation being made upon? Who's experiencing that transformation? And told me that's the time that Adam was told not to eat that tree. That's the time the tree was brought over to God. Eden is America. Eden is America. Say it again. Eden, this is their paradise. Eden is in America. Somebody want to include Britain, but Eden is America. You understand? It's their paradise. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. Eden is America. So they brought us over here, the tree was transplanted from one place to take one place to another. They were brought us over here. And says, don't eat them, don't kill them. Go ahead and eat something, you take it out of existence, don't kill them, and don't touch them. Right? See? That's intimacy. That's whipping out women. Right? Or having intimate with the, you had some slave masters, mammals, what you call them, masters and mams. They should sneak and have relations with slaves. Yeah, that got to be kind of problematic. They had a whole movie about that. But understand, okay? Because if you do that, you're going to dilute the race, your race, and then you're not superior anymore, and then you lose the structure you need to maintain to rule. You also had that discipline too. You had that structure. Your structure required you use less energy. That's what it requires you less energy to maintain yourself. When everybody else, especially us, we had to use a lot of it because we're complex creatures. A spatial mind as opposed to analytical. You understand? So that's what that was for. And so now, and that gave the capability to that because you had a weaker structure. You didn't require as much. Now if you start race mixing, then your seed, right, will come out requiring more and more. So therefore, they've been in the same situation that you see slaves in because they don't have power either. They lost it because they lost their structure. They lost their structure. So he was told, don't race mix. And that's why even their demon children, they don't accept them. They have to be pure white. Pure white. See? For them to rule. And so you look at this as a bad thing. See? And they're racist, but God made them racist and that was part of their ability to rule, the structures to rule, to stay. Do not pollute yourself, stay white, purely white, and you're above everybody else. No interceptions. See? And that's racism. See, but your racism or my racism, what you understand racism is totally wrong. Because that's what they need to rule. But see, you think we're all the same people, so that doesn't make any sense to you. But when you understand who they are, that's what made sense. So you had to, remember, they was getting instruction from God. But remember, God's the same one that said, I'm going to put someone in the ruler that's make mischief shed blood. Because it's the time of, in the wintertime, it's the time of the polar bear and whatever. This particular time right here is the time for the Gentiles, if you will. The wicked make men shed blood. It says it's time for everything under the stars. That's what it says in Escalades, I believe it is. So in energy deprivation, we'd have to have a weak, wicked person rule because we would not be able to. They say a bad civilization is better than no civilization. You understand? So we took advantage of that by submitting. Okay? We're going to spend your thinking. We're going to try to make you understand how things will work. Because they got you believing this mystery God and this flower child and all this stuff. It's insane. It's not true. Right? I mean, if you love everybody, why is put people in hell forever and ever and ever? When I believe in him, when they had no proof that he even existed. And they got all these different stories. I mean, I'd be insane saying, which one's right if I was trying to find out. Like I was, 15, 16 years old. Anyway, let's move on, brothers and sisters. So we're picking this up from book chapter 20 of the angel in Revelations. Now, chapter 20, see, that's the one they said they would go out to deceive the whole world, Gog and Magog. But chapter 20 is deception because chapter 20 is their history. They tell you it's millennia, it's going to happen in the future. No, it's their history. Millennia is their history. They was locked into the abyss for 1,000 years by the, what they call in the book, right? They call what's what they use? Abraham Islamic Empire, the resurrection of it. Because there was a resurrection, and those resurrected one that kept Satan and all them down in the abyss for 1,000 years. You understand? So that was primarily Sunni. And he kept down in the abyss for 1,000 years. Because the rise of the Islamic Empire, right, totally forced the European Empire back into Europe, right? Impudent, warring, diseased, so forth, so on. And so after 1,000 years, they would break out. So we're going back to 1,000. So that, remember, that was 1,000 years. That was 1,500 years ago. 2,000 years ago, when the Dark Ages started. And in addition to that, they got hold of the sealed Bible, which backs them up all these things. The Bible says, we're Ham, but why they call it Abraham? Why the only place in the Bible they refer to him as Abram instead of Abraham? Because we're the seed that be missing and we call it Ham. And we put in a strange land over here. And for 500 years, we raped, murdered, and buried, and everything else. See? It's simple, but why? Like I said, because that's what he's trying. So, but the reason they can't see these things is because they don't want to see them, or because we got demons, and we got the sellouts like Ishmael. The sellout, he gonna get the same thing, maybe worse than the demons. He's Elijah's son. It was not prayer. God don't pray to anybody. And Master Muhammad didn't pray to anybody. That's a goddamn lie. He never did. Like Muhammad never said he did. He recited the Quran back and forth 6 to 8 hours every night. Never ever caught him praying. That's a damn lie. Gods don't pray. Okay? So without you to bottle up. Because the Catholic Church was against discipline. You just had to do anything you want, just call on Jesus. So the whole power of the Europeans just collapsed. It was mostly under the influence of the Roman Empire, but all collapsed. And for 1,000 years, they were in trouble. That's their best. And then they come after 1,000 years. Gog and Magog. But during that time, right, for 1,000 years, right? See, 500 years, okay, the resurrection took place 500 years into their 1,000 years. The 1,000 years begin 2,000 years ago, after the departure of Jesus, who they refer to as the Christ or whatever. And then if you read Jesus now have a presentation explains it, right? They came on scene 5 years later. 5 years later. That's Prophet Muhammad. In Genesis, there was two light. There was a greater light was given to the devils, and a lesser light, the Quran, 5 years later, one during the day, one during the night, was given to the original people. So, yeah, but the sealed version was given to them. Okay. And then, right, 5 years later, they finally broke out, 1,500 years ago. 500 years ago. They finally broke out. Gog and Magog. Okay? What's going on, brothers and sisters? That's how it's go back 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. So here, go right here. Now, these are two witnesses here. And the witnesses are the Shia. They're not Elijah Muhammad and that's some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard of. He's a eternal leader of the nation of Islam. Elijah Muhammad never said anything like that, and he's not. What about the messenger of the covenant? The one you're supposed to be seeking if you're about the truth, which you're not. Anyway, let's do this. So we forget about Iran and Syria. That might confuse you. But this configuration of Europe 5 years ago. You had Britain, which I'm not showing here, actually came out of dust of the earth. It came out of European countries. That's why language is a mixture of almost every language out there. Anyway, they came. Well, I can talk it. They said pictures worth 1,000 words. Well, my brothers and sisters, let me just do it. It'll take about a second here. Pictures worth 1,000 words, right? Oh. Because I'm gonna make it, because this is very important, because you're going to need this, brothers and sisters. You're going to need this going tribulation. Okay, I'm going to do this. Move right here. Take this and move right here. No. Okay, I'm going to try another way. Give me a second, brothers and sisters, because I can talk about it, but I can explain it better. And I got a lot more to talk about. I think we're doing a couple parts, brothers and sisters. I want to do justice to it. Almost missed that one. Yeah, I need me an assistant. But I don't have one. So my own assistant. My own assistant. Yeah. That'll work. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. That'll work. Okay, so I was going to show you, brothers and sisters. See, this was Europe. Here. Okay, let me see that. And it says Adam was made for the dust of the earth. See, now, they talking about that Adam was made 500 years ago, not the original one from 6,000 years ago. The Pacific one, this is what the Quran's talking about, this is what Jesus is talking about. The one that made 500 years ago, right? And it says, I can get more detail, but I'm not going to show all that. It says, told him not to eat a tree or touch it, because he did, the day he do it will die. And we know a day in it is 500 years. So in that 500-year time that they had us, that means a 500-year time right now. We're in the end of the 500 years, because we've been here basically 500 years. So we're at the end of it, right? It says, at the end of that 500 years, right? It says, if they had attacked us, they would die the same day you do it, the same day would die. And that's this time. So they will die within this 500-year period. But it's also the 500-year period where we're transferred from angels to gods. So let's show it here. That's what I mean by made Adam. Adam represents Britain. Remember? And Adam was the first, and out of side came Eve. Okay? So Adam was made from the dust of the earth. This earth, because the so-called British, they're not real people. They came, that's why the language is mixed up. They came from, most of us exiles, because Britain is not in Europe. People think Britain, no, Britain is not in Europe. It may be European, but it's not in Europe. It's islands off the coast of Europe. Right? It's islands off the coast of Europe. You understand? Islands off the coast of Europe. And there is made up of people that was exiled or whatever from Europe, from England, France, and not from England, from France, but every place else. It's made for everybody. That's why English language is not a structured language like all other languages, because it's potpourri of everything. Okay, so that's what it means. Adam made for dust of the earth. And then Adam, right? And then Adam had 500 years. This last time, in 500 years, right? And it's Gog and Magog, because his God came out of Magog. God from the land of Magog. Magog is Britain. And God from the land of Magog came out of Magog. That's where America came out of, with Britain. That's what it says, okay? Okay, so here it is. Here's Magog. And there goes. Remember, because America was a colony, came out of the side of Adam. There you go. And that's Gog from the land. And it's the earth. Remember, there's 4 parts of it. That's why I talk about the 1/4 of the earth. Right? So there, that's what happened there. 500 years ago. Right? That's when Magog came out of, Magog came out of the dark age, out of the pit. First through marriage, because they gave up the Catholic Church. They turned to discipline that the God gave them, because they turned back to the Bible, because there was no discipline in Catholicism. They said, you do whatever you want to, just believe in Jesus. So they lost their power, because their power depended on discipline and their structure. They kept their structure, but they lost the discipline. So Britain kept this structure, and applied discipline. They went back to the Bible. That's why they call Puritans. They went back and tried to follow what the sealed Bible was telling them. So then the power came back. See? And then they went and they took and Magog, which is Eve, came out of them. Right? And then what happened here? Previous. And then, okay, 1 second, bro. So I don't have to, I can leave it like that, but I'm not. I fixed that. I know I fixed that, and I guess I didn't. I did, so why is it doing that then? Why is it doing that? I understand it. Oh, I see why. I see why. Okay. Now, what's the actual effect? Because then you understand it better. What's the actual effect? Then you understand it better. Hopefully. I'm trying to make this simple. It's timeline, bro. So it's a timeline up until Armageddon. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, that's breathing. And then what? Then 1948, right? False Israel, which is also called Cain. That's Cain in the Bible. Right? He killed his two brothers, Abel, Seth and Abel. These are his two brothers right here. I'm not going to go into that kind of detail process, but he slew his two brothers. See, this is Seth and this is Abel, right? But that's another story. But that's also Satan, because he's sitting on the throne. He's controlling all of this. See, all this is Europe. This is also part of Europe. But they're original, because on the paternal side, they're original. On the maternal side, they look white, just like so they're not really European. They're European on the mother side, it's like matched what Muhammad is. Okay, you understand? Okay. So, and that happened. Okay. That's how it happened. Okay, now 76 years Antichrist. Now what this is telling you is, I'm not sure I'm being dual say, brothers and sisters. This in Daniel, talking about 76 years. I'm not going to go into all the details here. I don't know if I have the actual quote here or not. Let me see if I did that. Okay, here it is. Here, one speaker to another, it says, a certain saint will speak to me, how long the vision concerning the daily sacrifice. Now, daily sacrifice has two connotations to that. See, we are the daily sacrifice. We sacrifice daily for 40 years in two ways. The sacrifice we made by just submitting, like we was told, the angels were just told to submit. And by submitting, that transformation process will take place of transforming us from angels into gods, but that's not all together. The other side is we was been sacrificed. And you have to understand vectors for that. Because by being here, remember, these are wicked people. Make mission, shed blood. Killers, say will come out, kill, steal, and destroy. But it's like, you go to a psychiatrist or whatever, and you've been beating up on your wife. They say, well, why don't you get your punching bag? Every time you get angry, beat on that bag. Have frustration on that bag. You ain't got on that. And then you won't be beating on your wife anymore. So God does that. So every day, go that day, gets, let me run out there. I'm not going to the bathroom. I'm getting. Then they come in, hi, honey. How you doing today, honey? How was your day, honey? Because they beat that damn bag to death. So and that's the case. The devils, but remember, they was being rulers. And for them just to construct the whole world, we had to give them a punching bag so they could minimize, right, destruction upon the world. So they give them a punching bag. And we volunteered to become a punching bag. There was a price to pay. The punching bag, so we absorbed all of that. Because that's where they accept all their frustration. They did everything that you could imagine and you can't imagine on us. Daily. 24/7. They beat us, raped us, murdered us, burned us, you name it. And can't name it, stuff that you can't even name they was doing. If it was possible to do it, if it was impossible to do it, they found a way to do it. So was their plan. So we actually saved the nations from being totally wrecked. Because they had us to beat on for 500 years. Right? Okay, listen. So with their sacrifice and transgression of desolation, there'll be a transgression take place. Right? And during that time, see, to both, concerning the vision, concerning the other side, we sacrifice. We've been doing time of our sacrifice. That sacrifice lasts from 1619 to 2019. So let's tell you, it's happening within that period of time. and transgress. So during that time there'd be a transgression of desolation. And where it'd be for the sanctuary and the people that was the inhabitants of the sanctuary. And we know the sanctuary to be Jerusalem. So who was inhabiting it? The Palestinians. And so there'd be a transgression against them, right? During that time, right? It'd be a transgression against them. And that transgression, it says it would be 2,300 days. Be a transgression against the Palestinians that would start during the time we were still being sacrificed. So before 2020, right? And there'd be the Palestinians be a transgression against them and their land. So whoever these transgressors are, they be going to transgress against Palestine, and they have control of they have control of Palestine and their land. That's what's telling me. Right? Somebody would have control of Palestinians and their land. Right? A transgression, so they shouldn't be there. It's a transgression. They come in taking it. That's what transgress means. You go and take some place you shouldn't be. Right? They say the abomination this place stand in a place that shouldn't be there. Heard that one? Okay. And then that'll be that long. And then they'll be thrown out of sanctuary because they was filthy, they were skunks. And then it had to be cleansed of them. So it said it'd be 2,300 days and then it'd be cleansed of them. Right? Let's see what that means. So if we take that, let me go on to the next one here. No, I'm got ahead of myself here. Okay, bro, just give me 1 second. I know I did this wrong again. Hit myself again, so let me get it right. Okay. Oh, I was right there. I missed it. Right past it. That's why. Okay. See, I got this one right. What's this? Okay. Oh, okay. I got it. Let me rearrange a couple things here, brothers and sisters. So that makes sense. Okay. I think that's better. And I'll do this down here. Okay. Oh no, I missed that. No, I missed that. I need assistance. Anybody want to volunteer? I need money. 17 years an Antichrist. That's all right. Okay, yeah, okay. So it'd be 76 years of Antichrist. Okay. So here you go right here. Oh, one more thing. Let's talk about it. One thing. One thing, brothers and sisters. Okay. Yep. Oops. Good thing I remembered it. Let's stop again. Okay, that's it. And what else? Oh, I guess I cleared it there. Oops. Okay. Now this is what it's talking about here. It says, It says 2,300 days. Let's go back and look at it again. No, well, right. 2,300 days. I got it in the wrong place. 2,300 days, right? So if you have divided days by months, then you got 72 months, 76.6 months, which we know by angel key represents 76.6 years. That means that whole, right? They would be on the foot for 76.6 years. That transgression would go for 76 years, starting in 1948. Because that's when it began. The transgression begins in 1948 when false Israel was set up. And said it would go on 76.6 years, and then they'll be kicked out of there. Wiped out, cleansed, kicked out, cleansed. So, there's a lot of ways to cleanse something. You can destroy it, burn it up, you can kick it out. Right? But we know which way is going to happen. So there you go. From 1948, right, to 2024, which is this year, 76 years, plus it's approximation there, right? And that puts you somewhere between August, September. We know it won't be November for all the reasons I'm not going to explain. Between August now and right now, they're talking about the annihilation. Is that coincidence? They're talking about the annihilation of false Israel when this war breaks out with Iran. They're talking about the annihilation. In other words, this is the greatest conflict false Israel has ever come in contact with. They think it's going to turn to a regional war, even possible world war. Is that a coincidence? That's exactly what it's saying right there. 76 years. And now we're here. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about right now. I'm saying it's going to be happening in August. I'm saying it'll happen this month. Probably by sometime this week. False Israel will be gone. We'll be taking that. It's going to go into siege. It's going to be on the siege. And then Jerusalem surrounded by armies. Notice desolation is nigh. So here's talking. He's going to be 2,300 days. And then the sanctuary should be clean. See, it says the transgressed desolation. His sanctuary and the host be trod on his foot. That's to my. It was very difficult for me to figure this one out. It took years for me to finally get this one, brothers and sisters. For all kinds, because this is one of the few places in Daniel where you have to understand the angel to get it. And I didn't realize that because most Daniel, I can solve it strictly from Daniel. But Daniel, the 12th chapter of Daniel is the 13th chapter. Daniel is the 13th chapter, which is the 13th chapter angel. Because that's the only place in Angel they mention the character in Daniel. I know you didn't know that, but you know it now. Just look at it. They mention the bear, the leopard, in chapter 13. The only place they mention it, right, in Angel. And those are characters that's mentioned in Daniel. So once you put those together, then I was able to figure this out. And it's 666. This is chapter 13 again. Remember chapter 13? America, false history in Britain. That's 666. That's what it is. How you know? What's the trademark? Sanctions. I talked about this yesterday. I'm not going to go into detail today. But it says their trademark will be sanctions. And who puts sanctions on all the world? No one's doing that but America. And it says if it will kill you. If it says if anyone didn't go along with them, they would not be able to buy or sell. That's America. And it says, and if you do anything to false Israel, they will kill you if you didn't recognize false Israel. They will kill you. Sanction to kill you. That's exactly what's going on. That's these three together: God, Magog, and the Antichrist. I talked about in detail yesterday. I'm not going to do it today. So here you go. Now, false Israel is set up here. Gog and Magog. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, real sisters. That's on the assistant. I know what I did. I know what I did. Can't believe I did it. Remember, this is 1948. Okay? And for 76 years, they'd be under, they'd be trying non-Jerusalem 76 years, starting in 1948. That's when it was established. That a coincidence? Okay? They would transgress, they would take Jerusalem by 1968, 1948, and they controlled for 76 years, 76.6 years. Right? Who set them up? America and Britain. Who set them up? America and Britain. And so in 1948, this happened. Who set them up? America and Britain, Gog and Magog. Okay, move on. And then I put a little graphic here to help you, right? 1948 to 2024. Abomination standing where it should not be. Okay? From 1948 to 2024. The judgment will begin in 2020. 1619 to 2019, that's 40 years, right? And judgment will begin in 2020. The judgment will begin in 2020. It began in 2020. It will go all the way to 2023. Actually continues on in abomination desolation, right? That's part of the judgment. Abomination desolation start in 2023 and to 2024, which Armageddon will start in 2024, not 2022 from Farrakhan. Armageddon will start this year. Soon as falsehood, the war starts in the Middle East, and America and Britain are dispelled, right? Defeated, falsehoods are under siege. America kicked out of the region, then Armageddon will start. In 1948, right, to 1924. That's it. That's all they had. Now we're going to talk about the witnesses. Now, Farrakhan tried to tell you the witnesses are him and Elijah. So Elijah's eternal leader. There's Islam. That's not what Malachi says. It says there's another messenger, the messenger of the covenant. And he is the eternal leader of Islam either. We have the Master of Muhammad. Okay, whatever. 42 years witness. Now we're going to talk about the timeline of witness because they fit right into this. You're going to tell you about the witnesses. Well, tell us about the timeline, Farrakhan. See if you can meet this Farrakhan. See if you can meet this timeline. Okay, it says 1,260 days. That's how long they would be prophesizing. They start prophesying against falsehoods in 1948. There was witnesses, they was liars, false. Right? And that would be 42 years. They were witnesses 42 years to 1990. What happened in 1990? See, they was witnessing against false. Remember? There's also Abel and Seth and Abel, right? And he would say Cain would slay those two, right? Okay. And this what happened. This was 1990. If America under the Bush invaded the Middle East, they took control of the Middle East. They invaded Iraq, took control of the Middle East, right? Superseding the power that Iran and the Shia had, because they was the primary powers. Now, it's exactly on time, like they said. Right, let's move on. And then it says for 24 years, after 24 years, right? They were slated witnesses, right? 3.5 days, 24 years, they'll be slain. Okay. Remember, they were kicked down, and then they've been in this position for 24 years, slain. So for 24 years after 1990, right? 1990, they were kicked in that position right there, and they've been in that position for 24 years. For 24 years, they've been in that position, which would take you to where? Okay, I mixed this up a little bit, bro. Scissors. I see what I did here. And back. Okay, here I got our sequence here. Let me make sure. Okay, yeah, okay, it's okay. So for 40 years, 24 years, they've been in position, 3.5 days. They've been slain was 24 years, 3.5. What's they say? 3 days and a half. You gotta get, they say 3.5 days. No, the translation, the transliteral version, 3 days and a half. 3 days and a half of what? Half of 42 years they keep talking about. So 24, that'd be 21 plus 3 is 24 years. So 24, 1991, remember they invaded 1990, and to that picture 2015. 2015, right? They'd be under the thumb of American Britain and false Israel. They have superseded their power, right? And it's right here. So now they're in this position. That's what they're slain. They're the powers in the Middle East, right? Up to 2015. Then what happened in 2015? Right? Okay. Then JCPOA. So they'll be underfoot of the nations. Underfoot of the nations. You get that? Why I say underfoot of the nations? They'll be underfoot of the nations. Let me move this out the way so you can see what this is. Nope. They've been for the nations, right? What's that mean? For 3.5 years. That's JCPOA. That means they're on the authority of the UN. They was under the authority of the UN for 3.5 years. The agreement made by Obama in 2015. The days are perfect, boss. This time is right. 2015, that'd be 2018 for 3.5 years. When Trump canceled it for 42 months, 3.5 years, come cancel it in 2018. Right? So they'd be on the foot of nations during that time. See? See? Because then they wouldn't be, remember, they wouldn't allow to be, they'd be buried and all that stuff, right? Wouldn't allow to be buried and all that. You gotta read the whole story about this. I'm just, oh, here we go. I get myself out of the way here. Then the foot of the nations, right? Be on there for 3.5 years. That's JCPOA. For the nations, they was on the UN authority. That's for the nations. That's what it's talking about there. That'd be for 3.5 years. Then Trump would take and cancel the JCPOA. And so they start rising in 2018. See, 2018 until the war, they start rising in 2018. Okay, start rising, right? And then the war would take place in 2024, which any day now. And they would throw America, Britain, and false Israel back in their place. They're becoming control of the Middle East. They would take American, Shia would gain control of the Middle East. They would, Michael's angels, because Matt from Hunt will be with them, would take out the dragons, angels. The dragon represents Assad, and it's basically most assuming. Understand that, brother? I'm just getting it with this. Tell Farrakhan, tell me to get some of this math. Any of it. You can go and check all this out. All this math checks out. And then it'd be 3.5 years, approximately 3.5, miss approximation, to the abomination desolation. It's a little smaller here. Okay, it should work. See? So what does that mean? And for the time the daily sacrifice shall be taken away. Remember, the end of the daily sacrifice, When did our sacrifice in 2019, 2020? 2020, our sacrifice was over. So it went from 1619 to 2019, and that's 40 years, and that was over 2020. That was taken away. And then from that point, the abomination make desolate set up. Now this is, remember they call it a different type of abomination before, and they call it abomination that makes desolate. It's set up. This abomination, this transgressor, they will be, right? This abomination that makes desolate, set up. Destruction will start taking place, right? In Gaza, what you see right now, right? And it should be 1,290 days. That's long it would take from the time of 2020 until that. So they're sacrificing away. It means we ain't sacrificing anymore. Our time of sacrifice is over. And it'd be 1,290 days. Let's see what that is. That means 43 months. 3.6 years. Approximation again, right? Some say 3.7 anyway. But say 2020, and you understand that the year in the scripture starts in March. It's the first day of spring. I'm not going into that kind of detail, right? I'll move myself out of the way here. Let me take myself on again. You can see. Oops. Okay. I still can't see it. Okay, there you go. See here? So 2020, and you add 3.7 or 3.6, whatever you want to call it, you come up to 2022 October. That's when this Gaza thing started. That's abomination, desolation. That's when it starts. So that's when it be set up. Exactly. From the time our sacrifice was over until that happens, and that's the greatest sign of apocalypse. See? And because that is phase one that leads into, right? Phase two, which first a war broke out in heaven, that's the abomination of desolation, and then comes, right, with the victorious, the king of north overcomes the king of south, come out of the world. When that's about to happen any day now, brother and sister, could be happening while I'm talking. See? And then Armageddon. Armageddon also will start, right, at the end of the 76 years, which again is this month. So Armageddon then start in 2 years ago. Armageddon is a European war, right? Again, 76 years from the time they got set up until Armageddon. Again, that brings right back. So Armageddon will start any day now. Armageddon will happen. The second phase, what's happening right now with false Israel is taken down, and American British kick out the Middle East. That's one heaven. That's going to trigger Armageddon. All that will happen, right, within the next few days. Next few days, brothers and sisters. Not the next few years, the next few months, the next few days. And this American Britain being thrown out and kicked out. Let me do a little something here, brothers and sisters. I'm in the process of doing stuff. So let me just, I don't know why, I think I probably know what I'm looking. Let's see what I did here. Got it backwards. Yep. I knew it. Good thing that's why I show it to you, because I'm going to have it backwards. Anybody volunteering, brothers and sisters? I need a secretary or something. Okay. See here? This is where we are right now. And this is about to happen in the next few days. Okay. Gog and Magog kicked out, thrown out. And this is Armageddon. When America is at war with Russia and Europe because when she would take control of the Middle East, they would all the oil that Europe and America depend upon, and Europe is already cut from Russian oil, so Europe will go into total dynamic economic collapse, as it says in chapter 18, and so will America. No food, no oil, anything. It's going to be a disaster overnight. And Europe, use armies will fail. America's armies fail because they're fueled by oil from the Middle East. If there's no oil, that's how the powers be broken, because they won't have the oil to fuel them. So they got 1 million planes, but only 5 of them can run because they got oil to run 5 of them. That's why the power be broken. But that will not happen to China and India because they allied with Russia. Russia has plenty of oil. You get it? And so Europe, Europe couldn't help America if they wanted to because they have no oil for its military. And as people are starving, they about to start pulling out the guillotines. So Europe says, okay, Russia, we're going to ally with you. Just feed us oil. And Russia does. So now they turn on America. That's Armageddon. And America's getting torn apart there and here. That's the timeline, bro and sister. This year, not next, not a few more months. Right? In my estimation, it'll be this month. In a few days. Total economic catastrophe, 2024. Once that war begins, right? America and Britain are defeated. See? And this was talking about, you won't understand this, brothers and sisters, but it says, I heard a man clothed in linen was upon the waters of the river when he held up his right hand, left hand to heaven, swore him to live forever and ever, before time, times and a half. And when he shall have accomplished the scattering the power of the holy people, that means when God's the Palestinians are finally victorious. See, because their power was broken by false Israel for 42 years. 76 years. But now it's right. They're scared. The power is not scared anymore because they come together. They the ones laying false Israel under siege, and they will be merciless. It'll be a horrible destruction upon false Israel because it's going to backfire. Because everything they're doing right now, starving the people, killing the people, blowing their brains out, raping everything else, as you have done, should be doing. And Palestinians will do merciless. They actually kill. They say they build their own grave. They actually determine they're writing their own death warrant. They're writing their own destruction. They're writing their own obituary. Because what they're doing right now is going to happen to them in a few days. Maybe less than that. And this is more complex. I'm not going to get that, brothers and sisters. See, because it says all together, when all the apocalypse is totally finished, it'll be 2026, a couple of years from now. But that's another war we're talking about, right? It says, the people that walk in the dark have seen a great light. As in Suleiman, he comes, because what happens is, it says, when this war starts, the what's about to happen, suddenly at the same time, right, Farrakhan is overthrown. That's when ancient days, Suleiman says, he's overthrown from within. See? He's overthrown within. And the Suleiman takes control, and then he warns the people, flee, flee, flee. Because destruction, Jerusalem armies is about, destruction Israel is about to happen. And they do not want that to happen, because if they fall, that means they was not true to Abraham, which they've been telling for 76 years, to get you not to see who you are. And now it's clear that you are, because if they were the false true to Abraham, they could not be destroyed. And that means you come together immediately, because now you have a vision, and you understand what happened to you, and you get your mind back. And all the lies have been telling you, the Suleiman is making you see, people sitting down, I said, a great light. So now you'll be able to do unto them that done to you, because now you know what they did to you, because most of you don't know. And you'll be able to throw out those demons that's been confusing you. And I'm going to close out, brothers and sisters. Message of covenant. Now let's look at this, and I'm going to close, brothers and sisters, because this is happening right now. Right now. And the sun was going down. Deep sea fell upon I call him Abram. One place to do it is here, because we was called Ham, that sealed Bible. That gave them, that's part of that racism I was telling you about, the sealed Bible that allowed them to rule, because by saying they were superior and Remember, because being ruled, that means they ruled that race would rule all the races. That means we was paid as animals. And so the Europeans came out of dark ages with nothing. There was disease, broke, hungry, right? Oppressed, starving. You name it. Ignorant. And they came out with nothing. But by them having an understanding of racism, that they were superior and everybody else was less than human, because that's what it was saying, then the whole world belongs to them. They became instantly rich overnight. You got to understand that attitude. But they had to be able to enforce that. Because you just can't say it. You have to, we can say we're superior. You have to be enforced. So they had the gun. They had the guidance to enforce that upon the people. So that's why they're living off everybody right now. If Europe was so great and everything, how come they need to come and take everybody's stuff? Capitalism, economics, democracy, all that stuff doesn't work. Only work. If it work, how can they have it just doing it in Europe? Everybody admire them. No, they had to come take everybody's land. And why they're in debt right now? Because they can't take as much anymore. If this was God's way and everything else, they wouldn't be in debt. People are in debt to them. So they got to borrow to keep this madness going, because it's no good. It's a grafted system. And so now they're $33 trillion in debt, but they can never pay. And it's growing dramatically every day. Because it's a fake. Capitalism, democracy, all that stuff, it doesn't work. If it worked, how come they isolate to Europe and make it happen in Europe? Why they got to take everybody's land, enslave people, beat people, rape, all that kind of, why they got to do it? Because that's how they fuel this lie. They fuel this lie of reality off of death, genocide, murder, rape. That's how it's fueled, by taking from others. And now they can't, it's hard to take, so now they got to borrow. Please let me borrow. Where's the end? Now all the countries in front, they'll say, no more. No more. Because their militaries will not be strong enough to force other countries to keep giving them and allow them to keep taking. You see, they got kicked out of Nigeria the other day? See, they lost in Vietnam. All these places lost in Afghanistan, they was there for the resources. So you can't steal and kill and destroy anymore. That time is over. And that whole system is built off of that. So if that's what it's built off, you can't do it anymore, it collapses. This was a big lie. Marriage was a big lie. It was not self-sufficient. Right? It's like Jesse James, it became rich by robbing banks when he couldn't rob banks no more than he got home. You understand? That's what's going here. See? And no, son, no shortage. That's no community. This ain't no compromise. That sees with strained land that's not there, stirred them, is afflicted for 40 years. That's only people that happened to us 1619, 2019. But you better read this carefully. It said they're slaves with a whole foot. That means you're still a slave. You call yourself an employee, you're still a slave. And you're still been afflicted. It's just they hide it from you now. They're doing it, but they call it a different name. Or you just got to work hard. You don't work hard enough. You know, we'll give you a car, but that 9% of that car, right, you got to pay for it. And 9% of it is just getting back and forth to work, ain't it? See? And you have no democracy in that job, do you? Anyway, let's move on. And the nation really served without judge. 2020 came a judgment, and one of the first judgments covered. It be a series of 9 plagues. And thou shalt go that fowls and after you shall come out with great substance. That means you're rich right now. It says you're rich right now. So how come you don't see your riches? You're rich, but you're not rich. Think about that. You're rich, but you're not rich. Wait, how can you make that statement? Say you're rich, but you're not rich. You're rich, but you're not rich. Think about that one. It says right now you're rich because they have quality control of your riches. They tell you, yeah, you got $1 million. Only thing I'm going to let you buy is $1 million shit farm. Would you see yourself rich with $1 million shit farm? Maybe you would. Yeah, let's move on. And the same day, Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, until that seed, Farrakhan is not his seed. Farrakhan says, father's the devil. And then he said, well, he's Jamaican. Well, yeah, but he also says his father's mother and his father was Portuguese Jews, white Portuguese. So if his father's mother, father's white Portuguese Jews, his father must be one too. Right? So he's not Abraham's seed. He's a demon. He's a product of rape of our people. A black-faced devil. Skin folk. And that's why he's against. That's why he called God a liar. We're not going anywhere. And this is what God says. So who's telling the truth here? I will. And they come at me, give his absolute word. That's what come is. Saying, until I see have I given this land from the river of Euphrates, that's where Abraham was at the time, until the great river Euphrates. Look on the map, that's Arabia. That's where Arabs don't want you to talk to you anyway. They hate you much, almost as much as the devils, maybe even more. Because they don't want to betray you. Because they are half brothers. They surround our land. And they come over here with this Sunni stuff. I'm going to do my 5 prayers, alhamdulillah. Praise, alhamdulillah, Shalom, all that, right? But they have nothing to do with you. And you could be sitting around a cloud, man, with angels all around you, with a crown on your head, right? And you got prayer beads all up your behind. And they won't say Assalamu alaikum to you. I saw him another day. I was out there, Assalamu alaikum. He looked at me. I said, Assalamu alaikum. So I didn't say nothing. So when I was going out to get my car, he was going to use his car. So I pulled up, so I said, Assalamu alaikum. Oh, Assalamu alaikum, brother. I guess I was going to whoop his ass. They don't want to have anything to do with you. They was black when Prophet Muhammad was around. That's why they won't show you a picture of them. That's why I'm going to give the scripture. You can't tell me you can never convince me in a million years, no one convinced me in a million years that this man was the most powerful man in the world at the time. He raised up Arabia, and no artist drew a picture of him. Okay, I'll buy that one. But nobody even wrote a description of him. No one in Arabia. Remember, his influence was also not only known in Arabia, it was known in Europe also. No one wrote a description of him because he was black, and they didn't want you to know that. And they became white because they mixed in. And now they walk around all holy, like, And who's kicking their ass? The people look just like them. There's another story we're going to talk about another time. Behold, I will send a messenger. This is Elijah, so-called eternal leader of Nation of Islam, right? I'm getting fired up, bro. It's just like I said, I'm wasted. I am. I'm spent. Like I gotta really, I ain't taking no drugs, but I gotta find myself. I gotta get myself motivated. That's why I'm pushing myself, bro. Get myself motivated, because I tell you, 30 plus years, bro. You think this is easy? You think figuring this stuff out is easy? It's so easy. How come no one else has done it? 2,000 years, no one's been able to break one. Prior to the Revelation, they haven't got one sentence right, not even close. Behold, I was a messenger who shall prepare the way before me. So Elijah preparing the way for somebody. How can they talk about him? And the Lord you seek shall suddenly come to his temple. So that means somebody was around when Elijah was around. Even the messenger of the covenant, whom you delight in, behold, shall come. That's the one you should be seeking. That's what you should be seeking. Whom you seek, the Lord whom you seek. But they're not seeking him, are they? They say, oh, Elijah. They said, no, the one comes after, because they're all liars. He said, all before me are thieves and liars. And they're going to pay a heavy price, brothers and sisters. You have no idea. They have no idea what they did. Behold, I'll send you Elijah, see the prophet. And he prepared the way before messenger of the covenant. See? And he would turn the hearts of fathers. He would turn your hearts back to your people. But that's the Pharaoh. He turned your heart towards his people. Who's his people? The devils. They ain't devils anymore. Because he don't want you calling his daddy a devil. He don't want you calling his grandchildren, his children's grandfather, devil. That's why, because Elijah Muhammad never said no such thing. Don't call devils because he did it. He announced to everybody. He announced all the ministers. Only ministers seem to come. You know that? It's Farrakhan. So in other words, Farrakhan couldn't say it, but everybody else could. He's a goddamn lie. In his lessons, Master Muhammad said, he said, it was devils and they can't be redeemed to anything. Pharaoh, he's going to redeem them. He's going to save them. Because they're his people. He's trying to turn, and Moses asked him, what did Aaron do? He tried to turn your heart back to Egypt. Because he's a demon. He's a devil. He's Legion, Louis Eugene Brown. But then why backwards? He's son of perdition. How many ways to take the cut? But the point is, you're going to kick them out in a minute. You're going to throw them out in a minute. You'll be cast out in a minute. In a few days, your days are numbered, Farrakhan. I don't think you're going to get through the month. Right? You have to find somebody else to change your diapers. Right? Because Ishmael, when she hit the fan, right? You're going to pull his head out your ass and take off. Because he's a coward. He's no good damn stinking ass coward. Right? He's worse than a damn, a demon can't help themselves, but he can. He's a turncoat. He's going to get worse than the demons got. You can't blame the demons for doing what they're doing, even Farrakhan. He's a demon, but a turncoat, especially he was Elijah's son. Will you rob God? That's Farrakhan. He's cursed with a curse. He said he's robbing the whole nation. It actually says it, even the whole nation. What nation? He said, Elijah's nation. Who's robbing it? Is Elijah robbing it? No. Master Muhammad robbing it? No. Me? I'm asking for a dime. Who's been making money off of it for 40-some years and ain't produced a goddamn thing? Nothing. Where's the economic program? So why is he so wealthy? It's talking about what nation? It's talking about Elijah. Elijah's nation. It said even this whole nation, the whole nation. He's robbing it. So he's cursed with a curse. Who's cursed with a curse? Elijah get cancer. I ain't got it. Farrakhan got it. He's disemboweled. That's a curse. You can't correct it. I don't care what Ishmael say. They can't give no balls back. Ain't no grafting on that. He's cursed. Any man will tell you in the whole universe, you find somebody living on Mars or maybe in the Andromeda galaxy, they'll tell you the same thing. Man, that's a curse. That's a curse. Because if the women are in your heaven, you have none. You just been kicked in hell. If you're not in heaven, you must be in hell, right? So he can't get to heaven because he can't. He said, we're not heaven. He's lost that. He's cursed with a curse. He robs his whole nation. See? This stuff is easy. I'm going to close out here, brothers and sisters. I got myself worked up. Excuse me, I turn myself off. This is future news. And I can't trust this in other people's hands. I thought I could, but I can't because it has to be done. And we can't be talking about this after it happened. This has to be before. So you have trust because our people need absolute trust and respect in this word. Because this is the only word that's going to get them through tribulation. They have to have total confidence in this word and the people that represent this word. The total confidence, because that's the light that's going to guide them to tribulation. And they have to be able to trust that light 100%. That's what I'm doing right now to make sure they trust this light 100%. Because I'm telling them exactly what's happening. I'm showing that I can see. You don't see me walking around with a cane tapping the ground. Because if everybody's blind, then the man's walking around with a cane. He can see blind too. He can tell them, he got a cane, see, so he can feel his way around. He can tell them he can see. How they know? That's Farrakhan, so he can't see a goddamn thing. But all I can see. But every now and then, tapping on the ground. Okay? But we have that here. We're showing we can see clearly, not a little bit, not nearsighted, we don't need any glasses, clearly, because that's the light you're going to need to get through the tribulation. So that's why I got to do what I'm doing right now, to make sure you understand this light is perfect and bright. There's people sitting in dark, see the great light, not after the fact, before. Close now, brothers and sisters. Okay, brothers and sisters, again, future news come to you from the Watchman, Sulaiman Rahim, the Minister of the Covenant, breaker of 7 seals. The Watchman must be able to see, brothers and sisters. Farrakhan said, God told him to be silent. What kind of watchman you want that can be silent? He's supposed to tell you that the wolves are coming, the lions are coming, the snakes are coming. He said, told him to be quiet. What kind of watchman is that? The reason why he said that, because he don't know a goddamn thing. And he don't know what's going on. He's trying to, and now you got Ishmael talking about something, well, I can't tell you all this stuff now. I'm going to tell you little week by week, because he's trying to figure his way through. He had no idea how it's going to turn out. And they went out their way to shut me down. Oh, yeah, I know they had a hand in it. And they were trying to shut me down here, too, and every place else. Don't matter. Because this gospel will preach in all the world, then the end will come. And there's no doubt about that. Mm-hmm. I know a few other things. I'm revealing things to you, bro, since I've never revealed to people for even 30 years. And I got a lot more. Just depends on how much time left. Assalamu alaikum. Watch me out.